Okay, Colin, where are we going today? Can you show us on the map?
A different grid. Yeah, we're starting off. We're flying a different route out up Tremaine Road, around Milton Heights, along Steeles, Main Street, back around to Derry. So go basically from Tremaine to 5th Line to show some of the new constructions. Back along Derry, along both sides of Louis, and then back along Britannia, and then around the lower base line and back into the circuit.
Sounds good. We haven't done the horizontal in a while. It's usually been the vertical, the up and down.
Well, there's a lot of other developments coming along, such as the Meritorious development, the mobility hub. So I just want to show people what's going on in various areas.
Perfect. Chuck Charlton and Colin Best here for the 11th.
The 11th, yeah.
We're losing track here.
Oh, I know. We've done such a great time doing this, and we're going to have a different pattern today, and we're going to be looking at all the different quadrants of Milton and highlighting some of the things happening there.
And we have a new pilot.
Yep. We got Dave today. Dennis retired, so Dave's going to take us around. We have a beautiful day for flying, and as you can see, it's really busy today. This is the busiest I've ever seen it here.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day for flying, and we always look forward to doing this for you. So we'll see you up in the air.
Okay, take care.
So what can you tell us about this plane?
This is a 1978 172N model. We're going to be taking off today pretty close to our max gross. We've got 16 gallons in our tank here. And yeah, max rated is 2,300 pounds. Yeah, 4-seater, single engine. What else do I know about this plane? Not a heck of a lot else. Just checking along here. Any significant dents? Pitot tube clear. Static void clear, stall line clear.
Okay, Colin, any final words?
Yes, I haven't told my wife yet.
You haven't?
No.
I told her this morning, so.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
I tell her after we get back.
I think this is, I don't have the stats for it, but I think it's safer than the 401.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
But just,
that's the story I tell myself to sleep better.
Yeah. To explain to her wife, basically my wife, she's flying by herself 2 weeks from now to go to Ottawa, and she's terrified.
So this plane is a 1978. How do you feel about that?
Oh, fine.
I'm fine with it too.
Yeah.
I'm a 1977, so.
Yeah, well it was a good year.
That was good.
I was working here in 77, cutting the grass.
All right, welcome everyone to the 11th flight over Milton. I am your co-pilot, Chuck Charlton, and we have the pilot, Colin Best, although not really because we had Dave flew the plane, right? But welcome.
Yes, Colin Best here, and this is our great flight. We're actually heading south right now of the Burlington Air Park. The first time we've taken off in this direction. We're looking down towards the lake and making a turn over lower base line. Chuck, do you want to highlight what's going on in this area?
Well, I mean, a lot of people wonder how far west we're going to develop, and pretty much once you cross Tremaine, there's really not going to be any houses. So this area will remain mostly what you see here, but as you get closer to town and you get further east, you're going to notice things that are happening. And so this flight, we took off in a different direction, but we're also taking a horizontal path along the town. A lot of our flights, the majority of them have been vertical, up and down. So this will give you a snapshot of what Milton looks like in 2022. And being that this is the 11th flight, a lot of changes have happened and a lot are coming.
Definitely. As we're just looking, there's the 407 off to our right there. We're going to be heading north along Tremaine Road, and we're also going to be seeing the work that CN Rail is doing off. And just coming up here. They're doing some excavation and site work there, which is what the region and Halton and also Milton, the Conservation Authority, has got some concerns with. We're going to court on this issue. You can see it lower base line and Tremaine Road looking north there. You can see the site work being done. Stay tuned to halton.ca /CN. You'll hear more about it. And Chuck, you're having a great view of Milton. You can see the urban area off to the right. You want to highlight this area?
Yeah, well, I mean, the CN stuff, I mean, obviously it's, their solution when there's a creek is, well, we'll just fill it in. I mean, it's bad. And we all know that the highest and best use of this land is to have residential homes there. But, let's see, right? There's a process to go through. We had a nice view of the airport and Mount Nemo on the left that we passed, but we're just coming up to pretty much the southwest corner of the urban area.
Yeah, this is the Boeing survey. It's called the Walker neighborhood. It's basically Tremaine, Louis St. Laurent, Bronte, and Britannia. You can see a lot of the homes going there along Kavachika Boulevard, the new school called Rattlesnake Point School, and actually a new street to the right there is Gordon Krantz Avenue. The first time we've had a street named after a sitting politician, and the mayor certainly deserves it. This area should be finished in the next 2 years. We're just passing Louis St. Laurent with the entrance to the velodrome. You can see the area marked off there for the future Schlegel homes, for their retirement community, and now heading into the Harrison neighborhood. If you want to highlight this area.
Yeah, I mean, the velodrome, I want to give a shout out to the dads of Milton. We play basketball there every Tuesday and Thursday. What started as a small message on a Facebook group has developed into 50 guys playing basketball for a good cause for Food for Kids. So the Harrison neighborhood is great. I mean, Harrison and Scott have some of the best views of the escarpment. They've got the Sherwood Community Center just to the north, which we're starting to kind of see right in the middle of the frame. And obviously they're going to have great highway access as Tremaine Road finishes up and connects to the 401. What's the update on that, Colin? Yeah,
this is one of the reasons we go on these flights. It's Tremaine Road, as you can see, heading north of Steeles Avenue, has been completed up to number 3 Side Road. Fortunately, it's been delayed due to the widening of the 401, and the contractors won't allow the region to put the overpass. That's going to take about 2 years. We're looking possibly the fall of 2024 to complete all this connection up to the traffic circle of Dublin Line. Then you'd have a whole connection all the way down to Burlington. This would be Milton's equivalent of Navis Road in Mississauga and Brampton, and it connects the Milton Heights area, which is also pending development.
Yeah, I mean, there's when do we expect Milton Heights to look like a more urban center, with condos and townhouses and those kind of things? When do you think that's likely to happen?
Probably about 2 years as well, because they've got some pending applications. They still have some agreements to finish with the town and the region. We're just turning over the proposed interchange. You can see the interchange area there, as well as the developments by Emery Investments on the north side. This is connecting our employment and residential areas, and we hope to have this whole area built out in the next 2 to 3 years.
We took this flight mid-morning, and we were both surprised at how little traffic is on the 401. We've done some flights where it's just been completely jammed up. There's another good view of the Tremaine Road and what's happening there. Yeah. I mean, when we started these videos, there was no thought of even an interchange, right? It's really, I mean, so much has changed, and if we're lucky enough to last another 10 years doing this, we're going to see a lot more. But Milton Heights will certainly be an area that will be significantly different 10 years from now.
Yeah, you get a good view of the escarpment, as well as Peru Road, which will be seeing some change, and also the future Escarpment View Park, just south of the CP rail tracks there. We're just heading over Steeles Avenue, looking south along Bronte Street. You can see the flattened area that used to be the Meritor plant. That's got an application coming later this fall for about 34 acres of residential and mixed-use commercial. So stay tuned on that issue. We'll have a more update next year, but you can see how big that area is. We're just heading over the Dorset Park area, and Chuck, you want to highlight this area?
Yeah, we've seen a lot more. I mean, it used to be Old Milton was the area where custom homes were built, and we've seen a lot more large, very expensive properties in Dorset Park, because next to the downtown area, these have the biggest properties. So real bright future for Dorset Park. Anyone who sees custom homes being built in their area, there's a good chance your property value is going up too as a result of that project.
Yeah, also we're just heading over the Crossroads Center. You can see all the retail area, and that's one of the biggest concerns I hear from people is there's not enough retail in Milton. Well, it's coming. It's just a lot of retailers are basically shell-shocked because of all the online sales, and they're just making sure that they can justify building, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars before they build a plaza. So you can see down the Derry Green and James Snow Parkway heading south. We're just going to be turning over just to highlight what's happening on the east side of town, because there's a lot of changes there, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, with the Derry Green Business Park, I've heard you say in the past is that the goal is to have at least half the people in Milton who work here also live here, to have that nice base where they're not using the 401. I think we will see a lot more distribution fulfillment houses. I mean, that's life in 2022, is that I want a package on my doorstep within 24 hours. That's the, you know, and even that, it's like, well, why can't I get it same day? But yeah, big warehouses coming in this area, and it's exciting, and it's already started. I mean, if you go down James Snow, sort of close to where Trudeau links up, you see that they've already started developing some of that area.
Yeah, we're just heading to the west now along Main Street. You can see the mix of apartment buildings. You're going to be seeing a lot more coming. There's about 23 applications for anywhere from 4 to 33-story buildings, mostly around the GO station. We'll talk further about that.
Yeah, there's an intensification plan for this whole area. I mean, we've got, you know, 10 years from now, we're going to see buildings that are 20 to 30 stories in this area. And both sides of Main Street, Nipissing, it's all going to change quite a bit. What are the next projects people can expect, Colin?
Well, we're expecting on the north side of Nipissing Road, the Millside Towers, as well as 3 other projects in those former industrial buildings are going to be vacated the next year. Also, that green triangle there, that's the Neat Communities, is looking at 2 large buildings there, as well as some changes coming to the Milton Mall and downtown. We've got applications for anywhere from 6 to 15 stories on Main Street. So we've got a lot of changes here, as well as the corner of Bronte and Main Street.
Any plans for the fairgrounds? That's always the rumor. They're going to build a Costco there, or a water park.
Yeah,
or
no, that's a standing joke. That's like the Maple Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. But we're now heading into the Scott neighborhood, and you can see some of the changes there. It's now a maturing neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when the builders were out there selling in 2007, 2008, passing over the Sherwood Community Center, which we in previous videos have said it looks a little bit like the Millennium Falcon, the shape of it. And of course, we've got Given Lane up there. So there's an area across from EC Drury School, and then the properties on Given Lane are really the largest residential lots in the urban center right now. So they're obviously doing very well with people building custom homes. I just spoke to someone who's building a 5,000 square foot property, a home on their property on Given Lane. So
yeah, we're just heading back west or eastbound on Main Street, looking at the corner of Bronte and Main Street. You can see the whole strip of Bronte Street South. That is changing. There's about 8 applications from Victoria Street right down to Louis St. Laurent. So a lot of changes on this street, which is intensifying and also getting more transit oriented, so you can actually walk, bike, or take the bus from downtown along this commercial area, similar to Kerr Street in Oakville.
Yeah, so now we're looking south with Main Street there. You've got a nice view of Mill Pond. If you've never had a chance to walk around Mill Pond, it is a lovely, lovely excursion with the family.
Yeah, and now we're just passing Ontario Street. You're seeing off it to the south there. A lot of changes come in the older area of Milton, but stay tuned on that, because a lot of these are through public notices. You'll see it in the local papers or on the town website, milton.ca. And this is the first time I've seen the GO station only half full. It's either empty or full, and that shows the changes in the last 2 years due to COVID.
Yeah, a lot of commuter behavior. I think people have really become sick of that 1 hour commute. I saw a meme one time, someone sent me, they said Toronto is 1 hour from Toronto, Right. It's
Yeah,
just
that's very true.
traffic gets pretty bad.
Yeah, you can see right now also it's a mix of densities, and that's one thing we're trying to encourage through the town and also the provinces, is that people have a choice of places to live, because with the prices going up so dramatically over the last 2 years, a lot of first-time buyers are having difficulty getting into the market, and that's one thing we need: the employment, residential and retail. So you'll be seeing a lot of changes here.
Yeah, affordable housing is good for any community, but it is a challenge, obviously, right? There's a lot of demand. From a government perspective, I think that we've undersupplied the market for a very long period of time, and so it's created some challenges. And some people during COVID actually saved a lot more too, so they actually came out of it and created a bit of a housing boom. We're just at the end of that in 2022. Markets started to slow down, but we know it's going to come back because there is that imbalance between supply and demand.
Yeah, that's true. We're just heading south on Jamestown Parkway. You can see the Orlando Corporation buildings, as well as to the left there is the Broccolini and Oxford properties. You're going to have a mix of buildings here, as well as some commercial along Derry and James Snow. So it's just not all warehouses, but it is, as Chuck mentioned, the way the market's going, large box stores, but we're also having a lot of niche industries coming in, such as DSV, which employs close to 900 people.
Yeah, it was. I remember going for the economic tour of Milton, and DSV had to put their lunchroom in the middle, because if it was on one side, it would have taken someone the entire lunch break to reach the lunchroom. So big companies, European companies, very supportive of Milton, and they've been a great addition to our community of commercial, I guess, landowners and operators.
We're just heading west on Derry Road, looking north along the Clark and now Timberlea area. You can see the difference in the designs for the streets. Also be coming up on the Connect building, which is now under construction. This is the first time we've actually seen construction during our flights. And also we had an application on the northwest corner, known as the Rad Brothers Plaza at 550, for a similar sized building, 23 and 19 story. You can see the crane there. And Chuck, highlight these type of developments.
Yeah, I think if you can imagine transit lines, I mean, obviously Trafalgar and 25 are major routes between Milton and Oakville, so I'm not surprised to see these large residential and commercial developments along those areas.
Just passing by the Milton Hospital, as well as the new Green Life building at 710 Brawny. You can see this is what you're going to see more of is a lot of smaller buildings, as well as the tall, sleeker buildings. So it's we're heading into the Scott neighborhood, looking from the south side. So you can see what we tried to do this flight is to look from both sides of each of these neighborhoods, so you can get a better perspective of the recreation areas, the stormwater ponds, and the school locations.
Okay, good. So we're just passing basically the west boundary, heading along Derry. We're turning the plane around, and this was a longer flight than usual too, so we've also upped the tempo of this to just try and fit it in within a reasonable time. But very clear conditions this day. It was a wonderful flight. It wasn't too bumpy, and we're just looking south again. And
yeah, this is the Harrison neighborhood. You can see the construction further south in the Walker neighborhood. For anyone that's interested in the town's history, each neighborhood is named after the founding family for that area. So that's why you have names like Walker, Ford, Cobbin, Wilmot, and Harrison. And some of the interesting history behind them you can find at the Milton Historical Society at the Waldy's Blacksmith Shop, because it's you think we've had a challenging 2 years. Read about some of the pioneer families had to survive. So they're looking further south now on Ontario Street, and now into the Coates neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Coates. This was a neighborhood where Mattamy tried a few different building styles, some of which were abandoned, but still I thought really interesting. Lots of parkland. I love how most of Milton neighborhoods have a public school and a Catholic school kind of in the heart, lots of green space in the middle of the neighborhood, and then the houses surround them. And there's a lot of the Milton neighborhoods have anything from smaller townhouses to 3,000 or 4,000 square foot detached double and triple garage homes. So that's a nice mix. And when kids interact at different economic levels and different backgrounds, it creates a lot of good perspective for the kids. So it's nice to have that.
Yeah, and also the school boards in the town work very closely together in designing those locations with a park in the middle. So they're central locations so that people can walk to them. We've had some challenges with people driving their kids to school, but we're hoping that as these areas mature that we can have a lot less portables and a lot more people walking, because it is a better form of exercise. Also a learning experience, actually, going through natural areas. You can see over to 6th line with Trafalgar Golf Club, which is also part of the employment area, and this is just heading down the 5th line. You can see all the construction and site work for all these employment areas, so that, you know, once they're completed, you can actually walk or cycle to work, heading down to Louis St. Laurent and heading west on that, because there's a lot of challenges on Louis. We've got new schools going in, a new retail area that was just approved for Fieldgate Commercial, and more to the west.
Yeah, so by the time Derry Green is considered sort of developed and built up, how many jobs would we expect to add in that area?
Fully employed, about 20,000 people.
That's great. Beautiful. So yeah, so we're just kind of looking at Craig Kilberger School right there. You can see the field behind. I would say in the next couple of years is we're probably going to see pretty much houses surrounding that that school.
We just got the notice from Madame A Homes that they're planning building close to 700 homes directly south of CK High School, and that probably in the next 2 to 3 years. So you can see, you know, looking north along Louis St. Laurent, the high school there, also the Catholic high school being constructed in this grayish area, and the Fieldgate Commercial, which will have a Freshco grocery store with a number of banks and other stores. Also the Missburn development on the west or left side here, they're also planning a small commercial plaza. You can see some of the developments there. The new school that is going to be a temporary Catholic school until the high school can get finished. Now looking north on the Coates neighborhood, we also have a small application at the top right corner for Sutherland Homes for about 270 apartments, similar to these other blocks here.
Just to the top right of the screen, we're not seeing it very well here, but the Milton Community Park is, you've got baseball diamonds, volleyball courts, you've got even, you know, one of my kids' favorite parks is right there too, right behind the sports center.
Yeah, just passed over St. Francis Xavier High School. The brownish area at the bottom of the screen is the Fieldgate Commercial Plaza, about 300,000 square feet. Be close to the same size as the Milton Mall is now, with a grocery store and other facilities there. Looking at the bottom end of the Harrison neighborhood, you can see that you got 2 schools in the center and the park and the Union Gas Trail, as well as the Walker neighborhood. You can actually see the shadow of our plane flying over. This is probably the first time I've seen that.
Good. Now we're just about to kind of fly, turn around and go the other way on Louis St. Laurent, and really look at what's happening, you know, in the brand new neighborhoods. I mean, we're starting to see, you know, the carvings out of where the streets are going to be, and they're prepping the land. You can see in some cases there is some building that's already happened. Well,
in the case of the Walker neighborhood, there's already a few hundred families living there. They're actually coming in to vote, which is quite exciting. And they're trying to figure out where everyone's supposed to vote because they haven't got their information cards. You can see this is going through the Boeing survey, looking south from Louis St. Laurent. You've got the St. Francis Xavier School, now the Ford neighborhood, which is almost all built up by a number of builders. We'll be heading into the other 2 neighborhoods further to the east. They're under construction now, and you'll be seeing this will be, once all completed, about 50,000 people south of Louis St. Laurent, and hopefully about 13 commercial areas. You can see some of the barren areas there, but they're going to be commercially developed or mixed use, and that's one thing the town's encouraging, is having developers have the first floor is commercial and the rest is residential.
Yeah, you want things that are walkable, certainly from where you live. The more things that are within, you know, a 20 or 30 minute walk, it just increases the quality of life, gets the cars off the road. Even close to high schools, it's good to have places where the kids can eat and hang out safely. So that's Kennedy Circle. I'm looking forward to the day when it actually becomes a circle. It's a semicircle right now.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Chucky. You can be the first driver.
I'm gonna go for a loop. Talk about the roundabouts for a second. What's the thinking behind that versus a traditional, light or stop sign or whatever?
Roundabouts actually are more efficient in terms of having the traffic flow and keep moving. It slows the traffic down, but it's not the stop and start. Actually, for your vehicle, it's far more efficient. Also, it's safer. You don't have the head-on collisions. You only get a glancing blow if you have an accident. I live close to one, and we still have people, even after 10 years, still learning about them. This area is the Mattamy Brown Ridge area, and it's getting applications. We're heading down to Britannia Road. We just had another application of about 700 homes here. All this area should be built out the next 2 to 3 years, except for the McCann farm, which is that green area off to the right. They are proud farmers of the area. They've been farming here as a families for almost 200 years, and they want to stay there. But also, you can see the Omaha bypass. The region should have this section completed in 2 years' time. So it bypasses the village, similar to what Bronte Road does in the former village of Palermo. And we're just heading west on Britannia.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges with a lot of these south neighborhoods going down as you go to Britannia, and even as it develops south of Britannia, is that they still feel connected to Milton, because really downtown Milton is almost as far as the edge of Oakville and Burlington. So I think having more things for those people to enjoy in those areas, community centers, commercial developments, which we know lags behind residential developments, is going to be really important to make them feel like a part of the community in Milton.
Yeah, we're just passing the south end of the Common neighborhood, and you can see the bridge work over the 60-mile creek. This area is filling in rapidly. We are working on the what's called the Boeing Community Center. It's going to be built in the next 5 to 10 years, as well as upgraded transit system. We'll be you'll hearing more news later this year about that expansion. But like any community, it has growing pains, and we're hoping to minimize those as much as possible.
All right, good. So we're just, I guess we're heading back to the airport after this. We're doing our final little leg of the tour. Any other comments or big interesting news that people would want to know about?
Well, we just had the official opening of the Elsie McGill High School, which you can see in the center there. That's going to handle the southwest areas, just like CK High School does the southeast. It'll fill rapidly because you can see all this area to the right is all going to be residential homes. There are about 3,000 homes to come here. So basically you have homes for young families, which is the Mattamy Soleil. You can see the tower cranes there of townhouses and apartments right up to detached homes. So you got a real mixed neighborhood there. So hopefully it's going to be the next family. Plus the education village. You'll be seeing more announcements soon from both Conestoga College as well as Laurier University. They're hoping to start their groundbreaking next year.
Now, as far as density, we've talked about this in other videos. Old Milton might be 7 homes an acre or so. Is it an acre or a hectare?
Acre.
Okay, an acre. So what are the targets for density levels in the most current neighborhoods?
Well, in terms of metric measurements, the province is asking for 65 people per hectare. A hectare for the unmetric people is 2.5 acres or 2.5 football fields. What the builders are coming in with, and I'll entice them, is anywhere from 100 to 130 people. And this is just a regular single-family area, and that's mostly townhouses, semi-detached, and duplex-style housing. A lot of the other high-rise stuff, you're looking at anywhere from 300 to 400 people per hectare. So you get a lot more density, which makes it more transit-friendly, and also walkable neighborhoods that you can actually get to retail stores and schools.
Yeah. So as you can see, we're landing. That is the end of the flight. And I think we had a good 11th flight. Again, clear day, beautiful conditions, and a new pilot, obviously, too. And he did a great job.
Yeah, excellent flight, a very smooth flight, and we actually could cover a lot of territory there, and look forward to one next year.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
Backseat of the Volkswagen.
So Colin, thoughts on the flight?
Excellent, probably the best flight ever. We had great look at both angles for each neighborhood. We'll be going over them in more detail once you sit down and edit it. But thanks, Chuck. We had a great flight by Dave and perfect weather today.
Yeah, it was super clear, not a lot of bumps. I loved it.
Yeah, excellent.
Final note before we wrap up the video, go to spectrumairways.com. If you want to book a flight just like we did, I'll tell you, it is so fun. You will absolutely love it. It's like a little vacation in the sky. And we're right over at Burlington Air Park, which is basically Bell School Line south of Britannia, so we're really not far. See you soon. Thanks for watching.